Welcome back to the Productivity Podcast, where I give you a daily productivity tip so you can get the most out of your time, your talent, and your ideas. I'm your host, Brandon White. Here we go. Have you ever tried to create a new habit and struggled to make it stick? Today, we're teaching you how to create a habit easily. We'll review what the research says to bust some of the myths around how long it takes to create a new habit. And we'll finish up by giving you an easy 4-step recipe designed by a world-renowned behavioral specialist from Stanford University. A study titled Habit Formation and Change, published in the European Journal of Social Psychology, aimed to investigate the time it takes to form a new habit. The researchers recruited 96 participants and asked them to perform a new behavior, think drinking a glass of water after dinner, over a 12-week period. They found that habit formation was a gradual process, not a sudden switch. It took an average of 66 days for participants to reach a habit becoming automatic, meaning they performed the behavior without conscious thought. And here's where it gets interesting. The researchers also found that there was significant individual variability. Some participants formed habits much faster, as few as 18 days, while others took much longer, in some cases over 80 days. They also found that consistency was key. Participants who completed the behavior more consistently performed habits faster. Another study, titled Behavioral Theories and Their Applications to Health Promotion, How Do These Theories Explain Health Behaviors?, published in the Health, Education, and Behavioral Journal, analyzed various studies on habit formation and behavioral change, drawing on different theoretical frameworks. They found that a study of young smokers indicated that it took, on average, 4 weeks for cigarette smokers to quit smoking and 8 weeks to reliably maintain non-smoking behavior. They also found another study with adults trying to increase their fruit and vegetable intake and found that it took an average of 12 weeks for individuals to show consistent changes in their dietary habits. It's important to note that these specific timelines apply to the particular behaviors studied, and your timeline is going to depend on your new habit you choose to create and you as a person. Professor B.J. Fogg is head of the Behavioral Design Lab at Stanford University and is known worldwide for his research and success in new behavior and habit design. His research shows that the key to habit formation is to make it easy by matching a new behavior with an already existing behavior. Here's the cool thing. You can start using this very simple recipe right after you finish listening to this episode. Key to the success here is to start small. BJ calls these tiny habits. Here's the 4 steps. Number 1, fill in the blank of the new habit you want to create after I will. For example, I will drink 64 ounces of water each day. I will do 100 push-ups each day. I will review my to-do list every morning. I will floss my teeth. I will eat healthy. I will work out 4 days a week. Number 2, now fill in the blank after I to complete your recipe. For example, if you want to drink more water each day and you're a regular listener to the Productivity Podcast, your recipe would be, I will drink water after I finish listening to the Productivity Podcast each day. Or say you want to start doing 100 push-ups each day. Your recipe could be, I will do my push-ups after I brush my teeth each morning. Or say you want to focus on using your to-do list. Your recipe could be, I will review my to-do list after I make my first cup of tea or coffee. The 3rd step, make your recipe small so it's easy to accomplish. Going back to our stay hydrated each day. Instead of saying, I will drink water after I finish listening to the Productivity Podcast each day, you want to make this tiny. And you would say, I will take 1 sip of water after I finish listening to the Productivity Podcast each day. Our push-up habit example would get tiny and say, I will do 1 push-up after I brush my teeth each morning. Our to-do list habit would start as, I will open my to-do list after I make my first cup of tea or coffee. If you're saying, Brandon, that feels way too easy. It is easy, and that's the point, because starting a whole new habit is hard. By breaking it down into tiny steps, you get to the big goal habit before you know it. The 4th step, increase your recipe as you make progress. Remember, the key is to match the new behavior with an already existing behavior, like listening to this podcast, brushing your teeth, or making your morning tea or coffee. This will keep you consistent because you already have an existing behavior as your anchor and or cue. So ditch the pressure and embrace the power of tiny, consistent steps. By understanding the science and implementing this recipe, you will unlock the magic of habit formation and transform your life one tiny change at a time. You have the power to create the habits to be your best self. Your move. Hey, real quick before you go, please remember to hit follow on your podcast player. You won't miss any episodes, and it helps support us bring you the show daily. Thanks for listening. We'll talk tomorrow.